It's uncensored. It's live 24/7. It's chaoticradio.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's JC here on the Cannabis Council, brought to you by Uncle Ronnie's Inc. It's the best goddamn jerky I've ever had in my life. So today we got some really cool fucking guests. I got C Money on here from Players Inc., formerly from Slightly Stupid.
What up, what up?
I got my boy right here. What's going on, Jimmy?
Yeah, what's up, my man? How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good, man. So I'm really happy to have you on the show. I when I first started this, you were one of the first people I thought of to have on this show. I was like, yep, I got to ask him. And finally, I was able to meet up with you and get you on. So fucking A, thank you for being here, homie.
Blessed. Thanks for having me on. I know it's kind of been a little bit of a time trying to get our schedules to match, but I'm really glad. And it fell on the perfect day, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You know, so it looks like we get to have some fun, too, on top of everything.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
I know when you told me you were available today, I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Have a homie on my birthday? That's fucking what's going on, dude.
For sure.
I'm all about it. So the reason I really wanted you on, man, is because you're really super knowledgeable on a thing that I'm kind of not. I know a little bit about CBD, but not quite as much as you. And so that's why I really wanted you on, was so you can drop some knowledge on us about CBD and what you've gathered over the years. So that's really why you're here. Why I wanted you here for that one. Of course, you have a lot of other business ventures and stuff too that we're going to discuss.
Definitely.
Because you do all kinds of crazy shit in this industry.
Try to get into everything, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
So much fun out there and things to get into.
You're like a fucking octopus. Got hands fucking everywhere.
Sometimes, yeah.
But that's good. That's good, man. So let's talk about the first thing is your extract company.
Yeah.
So talk to us about CBDs and CBD extracts and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I first got into this, had my own dispensary in San Diego for a few years, and just started working with patients and seeing how important extracts alone just help patients, especially pain. I was in an accident in 2009 on my motorcycle, got hit by a drunk driver, and used a lot of pain medication in the beginning. Didn't really smoke as much herb back then. And then when I started using it for myself, really started to see how important extracts were. So started working with closed loop system. One of the biggest problems with extracts is not the extracts itself, it's just kind of how it's being made and some of the dangerous parts about it, people doing it in their homes and not in a safe manner, so we wanted to provide clean, safe medication. So we started Illustrious Extracts probably in 2015. Started working with just THC, getting the nice shatter and clear and using the clean gas instead of cans and stuff like that.
That's always fun.
Oh,
with the two.
Yeah, right. Actually, the first time I seen a YouTube video on how everybody was extracting, I was like, this can't be good,
No.
So we really wanted to, to bring to light, the whole closed loop system and, utilizing the proper way of extracting, because it is relatively safe to do. It's a really easy process. It's really safe to do, but you just can't do it in your home, or in your garage or inside a hotel room.
Right, you have to have proper ventilation.
Everything, it's a lab. we use butane and entane gas in a lot of different extracts throughout the other industries, CO2 as well, but it's nothing uncommon for us to be using generally. So it's, like I said, it's relatively safe once it's set up in a proper way. But so our extracts, I got into CBDs a few years ago. I started working with a young man who has cerebral palsy, and at 15, I seen him go from 300 seizures to 0, and then from 15 to 16 he had 1, and he's now 19, and he barely has any seizures, and it's just been so that really caught my attention. So I started working with ACDC, and then my brother and I started working with some other 1-to-1 strains, some 2-to-1 strains, and really found that that's where the therapeutic property is. THC helps with pain, and there's a lot of benefits to THC, but really the complete CBD THC ratios are really what's the best, I think, therapeutic properties out there right now. CBD's been a wonder in being able to reach people in this industry that we wouldn't have been able to reach previously, elderly, children, stuff like that. When I had my collective, one of the hardest things was to in the beginning get older patients dialed in, get their treatment plan going, and their experience of cannabis moving forward with just THC was hard. Now that we have CBDs, it's a good way to start out, reduces inflammation, kind of kickstarts the whole other part of the endocannabinoid system that we haven't really dealt with, which is the CB2 receptors. We've been dealing with the CB1 receptors for a while now, and now we get to kind of kickstart the other ones, which are in our vital organs, and essentially and eventually are gonna bring us all back to the homeostasis that we should be in our bodies. Something that we've been lacking for such a long time.
Yeah, no, yeah, I love CBD, and like the more we learn about it, the more we do learn how it helps our bodies and everything like that. I always tell people, when you start taking CBD for one symptom, it'll start curing other ones you didn't even know you had.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? You start taking it for back pain, you're like, all of a sudden my kidneys are clean, my liver's doing a lot better. Everything starts functioning a lot better just because you're putting that, that chemical, as it was, into your body, and your body's able to utilize it in a positive way. So,
right. And it's like this Dr. Bob broke it down. We have cannabinoid systems within our bodies already present, and they produce cannabinoids on their own. But it's also you need to just fuel that, and you're supposed to get it from an outside source. The way you get vitamins from certain vegetables and fruits, and the way your body absorbs them, the whole way that it takes on a full plant. The CBDs and actually just a lot of the cannabinoids, they actually blend in with something that's already being produced in our bodies, which is pretty amazing that we're like connected to this plant from birth, so.
Well, it was put here for a reason.
Yes.
I mean, we came from this earth, and so did it. So, you know what I mean? Like, we work together.
Right.
Type of deal. That's why we can eat the, food that was produced here, and that's why we can, smoke the marijuana that was produced here, and fucking it helps us, It's a healing plant. Yeah. It's always been. The shaman are the first ones to discover it. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But in your experience with CBD, like how besides the kid with the seizures, what other things have you seen it help people? Like, what are the symptoms and sicknesses?
Actually, a lot. Seen it work with brain, work with cancers. Seen it help with patients that are suffering from thyroid conditions and rheumatoid arthritis. I have a buddy who's like 72 years old, and when I first met him, he was on a ton of medications, some of which are cause death after a long period of time, renal disease. Glenn Fry, right? One of the guy that just passed away. One of the reasons that he had rheumatoid arthritis, and one of the leading causes of his deaths was, I believe, complications with his medication. Long-term use of trying to control the inflammation. So we've seen it help a lot with that. Arthritis, dogs, animals.
Big time in animals.
Big time in animals. We work real closely with the Bully Market Farms, and I've been able to see a wide range of the same animals get a lot of benefits from CBDs. From one of their dogs went from a very low, actually 0 semen count, back up to 900 million from when he had apparently he had cysts inside his prostate, and they gave him some medication. The dog, almost killed the dog. We started him on CBDs, and right away he started increasing his semen count, and he's back up now producing dogs again. It's just like right in front of our eyes within a 2-week period. Even the people at the cryo bank were just amazed at how fast he recovered from what almost led to his death, with pharmaceuticals. And, that alone should, make people think like, wow, man, it's right there in front of our eyes that, animals are being healed,
and it wasn't even the illness; it was the treatment that was killing this dog.
Right.
I mean, in the veterinarian industry, you have to understand. It's like, how on earth have we gotten to such a level where they're pimping out medication like this, and they do this with children? We had the woman whose child had the autism that she started feeding him the cannabis. It was a UC Berkeley study, and it's huge. And little things like that you realize. They'll prescribe Ritalin to a little kid without blinking an eye, and no one will say anything, and no one will do anything, and no one will act like it's a big deal. Yet this kid's liver isn't even like developed yet, and you're pumping it full of these chemicals. And yet we could just really take something that his mom could bake in the kitchen, and grow outside in the backyard for just her own personal, like a tomato plant,
right?
And it's like, what's the witch hunt again? It's been on for how many generations we've been dealing with this, like.
Oh, yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. It's going to die down, but it's not going to stop.
Well, at least the crackdown's not going to happen.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's some really good stuff. I mean, it's about time that Congress is starting to see the big picture.
Well, did you pay attention to the article? Because I actually just kind of skimmed over the article, and then my co-host, who will be here in a little while, called me and said, "Did you read it?" I go, "No, man, I just skimmed over it." And he goes, "Okay, well, check it out. It's only really going to apply to medical states."
Right.
So the ones that went fully recreational, or like Washington kind of dissolved their medical, are still kind of open for the crackdown.
For sure.
Right? Because like Texas just went full rec.
Right.
And skipped, they don't even have a medical thing.
And shame on them for that anyways.
Right. But still, I mean, hey, change is change. I mean,
for sure.
I mean? Like if it's a half step in the right direction, it's still a half step in the right direction.
For sure.
But see, they're more. I'm granted, it's probably Texas. They won't get fucked with because they produce a lot of money for this whole economy. But
money will always trump it.
But there are other states. None of them are coming straight off the bat. Hell, the District of Columbia is full recreational. Right.
I mean,
and the last one to be talked about ever.
Exactly. Right. And what nobody ever mentions is how the District of Columbia actually is in the state.
Right. It's a federal state.
Well, it's a sovereign federal nation.
Right.
Right.
So governed by federal law, yet still have a which they're telling us is federally
it's
legal.
kind of like an Indian reservation.
Right.
Totally. It's exactly.
It's an Indian it's a reservation for our federal government.
Casino where they go and throw down.
Except they spend our money.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Delaware, you're up. 82 on black, baby.
Yeah, you lost. Guess what? We collect.
Yeah,
that's how it works. But okay, so places like that are still, going to be a little susceptible if Sessions does decide to come down, which would be completely stupid because the backlash. I'm sure he's already he hasn't even done it yet, and the backlash has already started.
I just read. Let me just interject this.
Yeah.
I just read that he was talking about revamping. Are you ready for this? Drum roll, please. The DARE program.
No fucking
I swear to God.
I heard that.
And they're like, it's gonna be updated to be modern, and I was like, oh. Can someone please wake this dude up? Because it's like he is literally stuck in a major time warp.
Yeah,
Alabama itself is stuck in a time warp. So we got to get the whole state the internet.
Yeah. They are 20 years behind. They really are.
I'm Southern, dude. I can vouch.
It's 20 years behind, man.
Get them all iPhones.
Get them some iPhones and some internet. Be like, it's like revolution.
Does that whole state still have flip phones?
Probably.
Oh, dude, they're still probably plugged into the wall. I mean, if you drive through Alabama as a touring musician, I've traveled all over, and it's just the vibe will change. The second you dipping through the state to pass.
There's
like
ding 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 ding. And
there's epic venues in Atlanta, in North Carolina, South Carolina, everywhere else in the South. And I'm trying to think I'm like, where was the big Alabama spot? Sure, there was one, but
that really big barn.
It was that memorable, yeah. I think it's just they were just just drive through. Actually, let's go around the state. Hell, it'll take 12 hours, but screw it.
It's well worth it. It's like Mexico. Nobody wants to go to jail in Alabama.
No one. That's why they're like rock band through Alabama. No. Reggae man through Alabama. No.
You'll never see you guys again.
I know. What happened to them?
Yeah, seriously. But hey, they drove through what? No, they never came through here.
Yeah.
Like fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
dude,
fucking Alabama.
For sure.
That'd be some weird shit right there. Fuck that state.
Yeah.
But no, if that's where Sessions is from, I haven't really paid attention. I don't really pay attention to his ass much because everything he says is pretty much fucking stupid.
No, that just explains it all. He's part of a dying, and I am from the South, so I can say this. He is part of a dying old guard that really is just really disconnected with everything. You know what I mean?
It's our final push.
It is his final. It's his last day. You know, he's a lawyer. He spent his life, dealing with the law to some degrees. But just to not understand that the business side of it. You know, my dad would always say, money talks and bullshit walks.
Oh, yeah, cash is king.
So why on earth we would be turning away? I love that Colorado just posted that they just, brought in $500 million in tax revenue.
Right.
Dude. Where is the party for that state? That state should be given medals and honors and literally leading. Talk about spearheading the American economy to where it needs to be.
Oh yeah, totally. And the crazy thing, I honestly, the crazy thing to me about that whole entire thing about Jeff Sessions pushing against marijuana is that I'm not political at all. I'll tell you that right now. But we have a businessman as a president, and it seems he's made a lot of calls that are business oriented, right? Not political fucking at all. He's like, all right, this is how business is done, so he's going to do it. Whatever. I don't fucking understand it. Maybe he's got a long-term plan. Fuck, I don't get it. But where the fuck is the business outlook on this shit?
Right.
Totally. You know what I mean? Like, has this not been put in front of Trump? Like, hey, they just made $500 million.
No, and that's my thing. I've worked with people like Jimmy, and this goes to the whole community that acts like proper business people. Is congratulations, because as Americans, man, they've done it. They've paid their dues. They're doing it right. Everyone's getting permits and doing it really by the books, and we should be awarded for that. We should be rewarded for that. We should be encouraged to do that. Not we're gonna go start raiding you and seizing your assets again. It's like, dude, that's backwards.
And the thing is, the people that are going for the licenses and stuff really denounce the people doing it the wrong way. They're like, no, please just don't do it that way. Like there's better ways to do it. You know what I mean? And that's what I like, is everybody really has their lane, and they're like, no, just do it the correct way and we'll be good. Yeah. But then everybody outside gives us a bad name. But that's what everybody focuses on. Right. You know what I mean? It's like bikers back in the day. It's why they call them 1%ers. Well, right now we have the 1%ers.
We are the 1%.
Yeah, you know what I mean? In our industry, that's trying to do it the correct way. And then the other fucking 99% out there is just kind of fucking off and kind of giving it a bad name. But
that was alcohol. That was alcohol.
And it all, but look how much money they realized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
They realized. I mean,
it's unbelievable. Break it down and look at like what a pillar that the alcohol community. As a musician, I have been supporting the sale and consumption of alcohol since I was 18 years old. I'm 37 now. Bacardi sponsorship, Jägermeister sponsorship. I've dealt with all those corporations.
No, is it 420?
Is that what that means?
It's about that fucking day, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, 420.
Do you know where your friends are? Remember
He's on his way here. Yeah, dude. I do remember that.
You're old if you remember that.
Yeah, I do. And I'm so old, I remember This Is Your Brain could crack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This Is Your Brain on drugs, and they turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember watching that.
How about No One Said I Wanted to Be a Track Star?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, when he's running, that was the best. Or when the dad comes in, who taught you how to do this? And I remember me and my dad, that was us.
You, Dad?
I was like, that's our commercial, Dad. Like... I learned it from watching you.
Let's revamp the DARE program.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
I literally was laughing. I was just like, man, this dude can't get any more. Like, what's next? Like, I'm just...
And going back to the whole CBD thing, just, seeing these miracles happen right in front of our eyes, you can't say that these things didn't happen. We worked with the Parkinson patient that's got a lot of views, Ride with Larry. And he's actually a retired police captain from South Dakota who... came out. He did a documentary of riding.
I've heard about him, yeah.
So through South Dakota, but he came out here to California just to try the CBDs out, and had a lot of relief. But yet he still has to go back to his home state and be suffering and not able to get this medication. And these parents and families who have got results. It's not like they haven't got the results and they're just trying to go out and get the treatments. They've gotten results to their conditions and now not able to get them in these other states, Alabama being one of them, and it's sad because everybody does have, issues that CBDs can help out with. One of the leading causes of death are from inflammation diseases. Through South Dakota, but he came out here to California.
Which is crazy because the inflammation thing is everything.
Yeah. Did you fucking up in there, Mike?
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, smart ass. Did you guys know Sessions is being sued?
Yes, he's actually being sued by an NFL players.
And more people. There's
more people.
We should all sue him. I think can we sue him, the three of us?
Well, no, you can jump on the lawsuit they have right now because it's a whole bunch of people. It's a giant group of people suing him because they're for basically holding the patents against it. Wow. Because they've come out and admitted that they have the patents. You can look it up that they own the patents.
Yes.
You know that one the patent number that's super popular right now that everybody's going, okay, that's not the only one.
No.
Is what people don't realize. Like that's the main one that, kind of says, that kind of outs them on it. But there's many other patents. I think there's like 4 or 5 that they also hold against hemp, against CBDs and other various things that cannabis can do really put a stranglehold on our industry at the moment.
And it's more of a treatment plan. When my sister passed away in 2010, one of the first things that I did was I started researching government websites, PubMed, U.S. Patent Office, and I was just astonished by what I found. That's kind of what lit the fire underneath my butt my ass to get my dream and my passion going. Was seeing that our own government has these patents, and now, even though that they have these patents now they're issuing patents to other countries and other pharmaceutical companies that in states that it's not even medical yet, they're issuing patents to companies out there that are going to suppress us, the people who have been, bringing this up from the ground up, trying to keep it all back in their power, which,
Well, you know what I think they're doing, to be real honest with you? I brought up the fact that Trump is a businessman and everything before, right? What's the number one thing you try to do in business?
Grow.
Eliminate your competition.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, what about eliminating before you even get in business?
That would be pretty cool, I guess.
How about having the government do it for you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, most
Everybody
definitely.
Just walking through. Hey, corporations talk to the government. Hey, you know what? We want to get into this, but we need kind of a clean slate. We need, 70% of these people out of here. Because the other 30% we're going to come in and buy.
Right.
Or, 20% will come in and buy. 10% will, leave for the mom and pop shop because you can't take a monopoly.
Right.
Right.
So they lock up all the good growers and, the people who know how to do all this.
But then those guys get deals and then get jobs when they get out.
Right.
Because they're
Which
good
on some scary shit. I remember since I was a little kid, and I graduated high school in Wisconsin, so there's a big agricultural, presence within the culture there. And there was always this scary thing about small farmers being stomped on by the government. My grandpa was a tobacco farmer, and he told the tale of when the government came in and shut them all down, and they were fighting tooth and nail to preserve something they've been doing for like 4 or 5 generations. And it's because the government came in and regulated all of it. They started with tobacco, and they've done it with a lot of agricultural products. And it's been this really weird thing that they don't talk about, and then you look into watch a documentary on how Monsanto farms and the seeds and how if one's pollinated, they can come in and sue these guys. And they're just wiping them out because it shows you that
all farms. Yeah.
With a medium-sized farm, you can actually kick some ass. You can feed some people. You can, really do some things. And that's why I just pray that things like that farm to table, kind of mentality grows and continues to grow so that we can.
Well, what I think is fucked up is that you guys know what government subsidies are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if people that don't know out there, they will pay farmers to not grow food.
Which is so weird.
Okay, because it is more expensive to process the food and take care of it and distribute it and actually deal with feeding the people than it is to just pay that guy money to not do it. Which is fucking stupid.
It's just the most ridiculous. Like
I know there's businessmen out there. I know businessmen out there that own farms in those states and get paid just to do it. And then they have some family. They rent the house out. Wow. And then they get paid off of it. And then, it's just nothing but profit on the property. And they literally have to do nothing. It sits there.
I mean, my thing, how can these people sit at a table and be like, this will be great, Frank? This is going to be like, this is going to, because on a moral level.
Because they're saying this will be great for us, Frank. This is going to be awesome for our pocketbook. This is going to put another Rolls Royce in your garage.
And I know I feel like I sound simple or whatever, but I know a lot of people that would not be able to do that because they don't think like that. And that it's like, I know that there's been in times in our history when cool ass people were empowered and they were able to move people and get people going on some real shit.
Well, I think that's why they're kind of scared of our movement in our industry as well, is because
big time.
There's a lot of free thinkers that have been able to make a hell of a lot of money.
Right.
And the number one thing you need to fight these motherfuckers is money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Money and time. And when you're sitting around and you're making money off of selling cannabis, you have money and time.
Money and time.
You know what I mean? Like eventually you don't, if you get big enough, you're not really working on, you're doing your thing, but you're managing everybody, managing the rest of your shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you have the money, you can go and do these kind of things. And I think that's what they're kind of getting scared, going, man, these guys are making a lot of money. If we decided to really, if we let them have 5 years of running, in 5 years, they're going to be able to fight us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
especially now that they're seeing the numbers that we've been generating and that we can potentially generate,
and those aren't real.
Even our black, I know those are nowhere near real. Like those are way low. Even the black market's projected to do really well coming up in 2018 and 19. The projection for the black market is going to be huge.
The black connoisseur market is going to go up completely.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of grateful for that. I'm not going to lie.
But we will see, just like coming out of alcohol, politicians being made from our 1% and people starting to be able to lobby for us, and we're at that point now.
We've had lobbyists. We've had cannabis lobbyists for a number of years, but I think now they'll have a lot more backing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Be able to walk in there and, in the Armani suits. It's all about how you look.
For sure.
It's all about how you look. So let's put our fuck it. I'm sorry, I'm not, pretentious or nothing, but fuck it. If we have to fucking compete, put our lobbyists in the Armani suits. Go get them nice shit. Right. You know what I mean? So they can walk in there and they can play ball and show them, we're here to do it. You want to try to kick us out? Well, guess what? We got our own money behind us.
Right. Yep. And I love wearing suits, so I think me and Jimmy could be free agents for being cannabis lobbyists. Definitely. Give it a crack.
Yeah, you guys take that job.
But and what you said though is really, really true. You have to play the game. You got to put on the jersey, and this is business, capitalist business 101. And we got to go in there like Rockefellers and just do the thing. It's how the whole story goes is just make so much money that the wheels go flying off the cart, and then they it's so big that they can't make it go backwards. They can't make it go away.
Yeah.
Look at alcohol and how ridiculously fucked up alcohol is. I mean, like, if you have an alcoholic in your family, you're like, yeah, I know what you mean, dog. Yet, that ain't going nowhere, dude. They've proven that it's, like, really bad for you, but yet, here we are.
You know anybody that owns a liquor store? Do you know anybody that owns a liquor store?
No.
Okay, well, I do. I know a guy that owns several of them. Okay, bar too. Okay, so at a liquor store, everything you see is for show. Liquor pays for everything in the store. They could only sell liquor at a liquor store.
Wow.
And still make plenty of profit. All the chips, all that stuff is all, cherry on the cake.
Right.
Because liquor literally pays for everything in the whole fucking store.
That's why there's hats and shirts.
Yeah. They don't care.
A whole wardrobe.
No, that's why when you go into those ghetto liquor stores and you see the fucking dust on the shelves is because they don't care about that merchandise.
Right.
The fucking 40s make all the money in the world for them.
Right. And on that note, they're trying to stop us here in California from having cannabis merchandise, because
cannabis brands.
Cannabis branding, yeah.
Period. Cannabis branded, period. As in cannabis for products, cannabis, for shirts or anything.
In a capitalistic, that's so anti-capitalist.
Here we go backwards on this business whole thing.
I don't get it. California's so greedy. Why would you do that?
It's stupid because in this day and age,
nothing but more sales tax,
branding and producting, and every little kid trying to be an entrepreneur right now, we're literally promoting this capitalistic thing like harder than we've ever done it in the history of America. Look at your history books.
Oh yeah.
And yet you're going to do something that law, California, I love a lot of what you do, but that goes up there with it's illegal to collect rainwater, dumb shit. Where it's like, we got droughts and all this, and again, Frank, this is going to be good. This is going to be good for us. I want to be there at the next meeting and be like, you guys are dumb.
It's illegal to get fellatio in California.
Well,
yeah, that's on the books.
Breaking the law. It's like the Puritan days or something.
That exists, dude.
Damn.
Well, it did exist. I think they might have taken it off. But like, there's another state that says it's illegal to bathe with your donkey in the bathtub. These things exist. You know what I mean? Like those stupid laws that are still on the books. And those stupid laws are on the books because at one point in time, somebody fucking brought it up and somehow it passed. And so
which is ridiculous.
I don't think that one's going to go through because it's had too much negative press.
Right.
Yeah, already.
People are already like, no, because I even think that's not going to go through, because the big corporations who see it in a few years are going to be like, no, wait, we need to be branded. We want our branding.
Well, think
What
about
is
all
Anheuser-Busch? You know,
think about all the
Marlboro
med-
cigarettes.
and all the prescription medication. I mean, I've seen purple
Q-tips,
pins out there.
Kleenex.
You know, I mean, there's all types of things with
Tons of paraphernalia
for
for fucking
pharmaceuticals.
Xanax.
Every
Fucking-
brand. Even Robbie was saying the other day, he's like, "What is this?" You know, and I was like, "A Kleenex," and it's like, you don't call it a tissue. You know, you get that little thing with we wipe our
Yep,
dabs
it's a
out.
Kleenex.
It's a Q-tip, and you're like, those are brands. And you know what?
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
hating on that, because they worked hard and got their shit up there. But don't be stopping the next generation, because you are now, that's anti-American, and then you're going to start up the whole rabble rousing thing, because what we're taught is if anybody stops you from doing your thing,
Push harder.
push harder and
For
don't
sure.
stop. Keep going. Oh, that just woke up the whole village. You know, Ben Franklin would be like, let's do this.
Yeah.
He would. I promise you that.
Oh, I know. I'm a Freemason, bro.
He would
Trust
be
me.
all about that.
I understand that. And they teach us that in Freemasonry. Like, no, you don't necessarily you don't do it in an asshole way, but you don't take no for an answer. You push harder. You just try as hard as you can. And you continue to go.
Yep.
That's it.
Right.
You know. And I don't think that bill, that there's no fucking way that is going to pass.
Because there's some cool brands out there, yo.
Yeah, there's some cool
Dude.
brands, and not only that, but like I said, the big corporations they want their own branding. That's not going to happen. They want their own branding. That could have just been brought. You know what? That could have been brought up to see what they're fucking shuffling in underneath it.
Right.
That
That's
they're
true.
not talking about. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's the one thing. Hey, look here, because we're doing this here.
Totally.
Yeah.
And shit. Now I gotta go look shit up. No, I thought of that. What are they
Yeah.
trying to push?
We got to
through
read the
then?
whole
gotta
article.
read the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, now I
thing.
got to start keep on reading. Like, wait, what are they trying to push through underneath? So,
Hey.
because that's what they fucking do. You know what I mean? They push something ridiculous, and then everybody makes a big hoorah, and you don't realize that something else is going on. It's government for you. They're not doing anything illegal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's our job as citizens to be informed and everything like that. So they're not doing anything illegal. They're just misdirecting you.
Yep.
Right.
It's like a magician.
Right.
They're just really good at it.
And I think
Very
Sanjay Gupta said that best about us. We've been systematically misled on the whole cannabis issue this whole time.
Generations.
Generations of misleading and fear tactics. Beautiful thing is 21st century and phones. You could get on and call bullshit to all this stuff that they've been feeding us in an
information.
instant.
But see,
now,
that's the thing too. They started to learn. There's a lot of I've realized recently, and check it. You guys can do the research for yourself. There's a lot of really iffy fucking things coming out right about now. They're using that against us as well. They're putting out misinformation. The CIA, remember this, guys. The CIA's only actual job is to feed disinformation.
Right.
That's the number one job they have. The second one is to collect intelligence.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're very good. The government is very good at feeding disinformation out there. And they're starting new campaigns and stuff. And believe me, they're going to drive people the way they want to. They're fucking cheap.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what I started to notice. So, like, that's why I'm glad I have this show, because I try to bring things to light. Like, no, pay attention to this article, because this one's fucking bullshit.
Yep.
Right.
And because, they're starting the misinformation war already. And it sucks. But I like it because you can kind of see the bullshit in it.
For sure.
I think that they've always I remember reading a book about Guy Fawkes. I think is the name. And this is like in the 1400s, and they were using, one story to cover. That goes back, Romans, would write about that in the Senate, how you would use some crazy dude to go do something crazy in the streets to just literally cover up some vote. And then we got this other shit happening. And it's just that mentality is constantly happening. And it's like, again, with Ben Franklin, I like what he thought. The woman said, "What you got for us?" He's like, "A republic if you can keep it." And that if you can keep it part, every generation, we are never going to just get handed some awesome machine. It's going to be falling apart, and it's going to be old, and we always got to be like, how can we update this and make this a living growth? Like exactly what law has to be, a living growth. I think it says that on the building in Yale. Like, it should not be an endless code or some changeless code. It's got to be a living growth.
It really does. I mean, because we're an ever-changing and ever-growing society, you know what I mean? And new things are always coming to light with new information and scientific, leaps and bounds in science and technology. We can learn all kinds of new shit. So it's a living growth. That's the best way to put it. That's awesome, bro. I never heard that before.
I can say from touring, we were playing some place in Yale, and it's the only time I asked to be up in some Yale campus, and it's literally written on their law building,
Right.
inscribed in there. And it's like little things like that you realize you're like, again, they wanted you to push. That's what the whole point of this governing yourself thing is supposed to be. Is it's almost like, let's just keep feeding them some bullshit until they say no. You know, that pushing of the line back and forth is gonna, I think, constantly happen. Like, you know, so.
Oh yeah, this country is founded on pushing the limits.
Right.
You know what I mean? Being like, no, this is what we want as a people, and unfortunately, I think that vote is being lost. It's being lost on a federal level. States are listening.
Right.
And more have started listening over the years, which is really dope.
Yeah, and I think that's good because you're reviving this whole, the states like have this whole thing going. And I never saw that as a kid. I think we, you know, lived in more of, that's when the federal government was stronger and in the 80s and, you know, all that mess. But, you know, now it's like we're going back to some original kind of way of doing that. And I think that's the only way we're going to survive, you know.
Oh, yeah, you got to stand up to them.
Definitely a lot more free thinking going on, you know. Plus now our generation is going into having political influence and stuff like that. You know, we're kind of shuffling out some of that old and bringing in some more free thinking.
Yeah, I definitely I love the free thing. That, you know, that's always been part of our whole entire culture is free thought, thinking outside of the box. I don't know, maybe it is because we get stoned and we start really thinking about shit. And, you know, I honestly don't know the reason because I've been getting high so long. It's just kind of my train of thought now. But
it's actually an opening, unlocking of some other parts of the brain that we're not able to tap into before you use cannabis. You know, it's like a whole starting experience. And I think that's one thing that once people that haven't experienced cannabis before and actually get to take that initial trip and initial, you know, exercising of the brain and unlocking of the brain when you really get to start thinking about some different stuff instead of just the same thing that you wake up to in the morning time. What goes on in the news, what goes on in the news, what goes on in the news, on my way to work, what goes on in the news, what goes on in the news. Then at work all day, I'm just thinking about what went on in the news, you know?
Right.
Whereas we could get up, watch the news, smoke a bowl, forget about, you know, that stuff, get back into free thinking on the way to work and thinking about what you know, what's going to happen and, you know, your own stuff, and then be at work being able to just free think all day long without being programmed. I think that's too why they're really scared of, you know, what's to come, because it's a lot harder to program us, you know, throughout our whole community. You know, everybody I talk to, you know, it seems like that is what we've done. We've unlocked that programming that the government's had over us. So myself in particular, because, you know, I smoked herb when I was a kid, but when I turned 18, 19, you know, I didn't want to be in trouble anymore, you know, so I stopped. You know, I was an iron worker, you know, I wasn't trying to lose my job, you know, I was paid really well. I have a Class A license, and I thought, you know, same thing, you know, weed was just bad, you know, it was just something that, you know, people did to get high. It wasn't until my sister got sick and I seen her firsthand going to chemo treatments and then coming out and going and having a steak, you know. I wish I would have known a little bit more back then than I do now, but, you know, it was just amazing to see her, you know, have the relief that she got. It wasn't just about getting high anymore. And that's when my eyes really opened up and I started smoking again and unlocking my own personal mind and seeing that, man, this has a lot more value than just getting high and, you know, being stoned, even on a recreational aspect. I mean, stress, you know, stress is the #1 killer. You know, we all get home and get stressed. You know, you want to reach for a beer or a bottle of Jack Daniels. Well, we better off smoking a joint or, you know, doing a couple dabs and being, you know, decompressed for the day and being able to function too at the end of the day instead of, you know, destroying your liver.
You know, alcohol definitely will, you know, calm you down and have the same effects as marijuana. But like you just said, it destroys your liver. And not only that, it destroys your outer appearance. I've been eating high for fucking 19 years, right? And that kind of depresses me because I'm kind of old now.
You don't even look that old. How old are you?
Yeah, that's
how
what
old
I
are you
was about
today?
to say. I'm 33 today.
Oh yeah, you don't even look that old.
See, I don't look that old. You don't look as old. You just reeled off you're 37, and I was like, there's no fucking way. He looks 26.
I don't tell a lie.
You know what I mean? How old are you doing?
37.
You do not. Yeah, you don't look that old either. You
I think honestly it's cannabis. I really do. Like,
you know, and yeah, it doesn't make you, you know, it doesn't aid you on the outside because it's not putting a poison into your body. Alcohol is a poison.
Right.
You know, to get you those effects, you're poisoning yourself. It's like taking mushrooms. You're giving yourself fucking food poisoning.
Right.
To, you know, start tripping out and have these hallucinogens. I read a meme the other day. It said marijuana is so wonderful. It's the only medicine you take to actually get the side effects.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? Like, people
so
take it
simple, but so true.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, well, this is going to help me if I take this, but this is going to help me and make me feel the side effects. Right. I'm going to take this one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what everybody chooses. Like, yeah, I know, like, you can have two products on the shelf, and one's like, you know, straight CBD, And people are like, you're like, this is going to help you. And I know because I've worked at a collective. And this one's going to help you, but it'll make you feel a little bit high. They pick this one every fucking time.
Right.
No matter if this one will help you 5% more, 10%, 20% more. Right. This one makes you feel a little bit high. So they fucking take that one.
For sure.
And I would try to talk them into the CBD one with people, sometimes I wouldn't even tell them. They'd be like, what's that one? Oh, that one's really not good for you. And I'd steer them towards this one because I knew that one would help them better and whatnot.
Right.
And then I'd be like, if you want, and I'd always tell people, you need to get this for your, because, your pain and everything. And if you want to get high, just get you some flour.
But see, what you just did is what doctors should be doing. And you took on this whole thing, like all of us are going to want to get high. And then you used to, with your patients a lot. And I thought that was a very unique approach to that, is it's like everybody's different. Everybody needs something different. And it's like, no, dude, you definitely need some CBDs. So like, just rock these for a little while and we'll get you blazed too. Like, but you need these right now, and that's some stuff that bud, tenders and people, what's the proper word for it? But like,
bud tender.
I think that's a really important part of it. And that will bring people in on this in a safe manner. That's like, dude, how can you go wrong?
I think we need more of an education on it. I think that right now a cute girl can walk into a fucking collective and not wearing much and say, I want a job. And she gets thrown behind the fucking counter.
Yes.
And she doesn't know shit. It's different because like I have an education in this, I've been doing it for a while. So like when I talk to somebody, I'm like, okay, well, like this, and this would help you out a lot more. And they're like, oh, well, people have been telling me this. And I want to look at them so bad, like, people don't know shit.
Right.
No, it's about proper, and that's another thing.
You got to have
bedside
bedside manner
really
at
well.
that point. You got to be like, I understand, you know what I mean? But there's been other things, and, I've been, I just tell people, I'm really educated in this, and I understand that. I think this will help you. And they always come back, and they're like, dude, you're right. I'm like, yeah, thank you. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to just pump you full of, I'm not going to sell you this gram because it makes $10 more for the shop.
Right.
I'm going to sell you this one because it actually helps you out.
And I think that coming up in 2018, when we're able to differentiate recreational from medical, we're going to be able to see a lot more of that. Collectives being able to take the time and deal with the medical patients on a one-on-one basis, whereas all the recreational people will go to the recreational shops and just get what they want to get. Because right now it's kind of real confusing for everybody, because the younger generation want to smoke and get high and alleviate their symptoms and their pains and stuff, but where they would be better off because they already know and they're educated in it is at a recreational shop, whereas an elderly person or our grandma or our parents would be better off in a facility where they could get that one-on-one care.
Exactly.
And get that education and understanding their own personal bodies, because we're all chemically different too. What I've really found is like like my dad and people in his generation, they smoke indicas, and that puts them like wired up and they're all ready to go, or they smoke a sativa and they're like down on the floor, whereas I smoke a sativa, I'm up going. And so that kind of communication between the bud tender and the patient is going to be very useful too in the future. But you're 100% on the, people liking that CBD with the THC, being able to get that high, but really not that like shocking to overbearing like GDP or Gorilla Glue high. They get that CBD relief with all the pain, and then a little bit of THC to get their mind working as well too.
And don't get me wrong, I do understand that sometimes like just taking CBD isn't going to be the best thing for you. You have to take THC because it does activate different receptors and stuff,
sure.
And it has to make everything work together. But there are certain times when CBD is just the thing you need.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have a certain pain where like, okay, well, THC isn't going to touch that. If your fucking kidneys are hurting you, THC really isn't going to touch it. It's going to eliminate some of like the inflammation, but then the CBDs are really going to go for the pain, you know what I mean, and start doing that. So that's what I was trying to explain to people a lot, like buy this CBD cream or, this CBD product and get some flour. You have your CBD, you have your THC. You rub this, you smoke this, you feel better.
Totally, dude. And what you guys are just talking about, it's like you can easily, clearly see that the entire medical industry, doctors, the prescriptions, the whole infrastructure of it could take $1 trillion just swing into cannabis. And you could have doctors 100%. Who are dealing with the older people. Yeah, let the young people have the rec, and they're out partying, and that's $1 billion industry right there.
For sure.
And then you got these older people. Their doctors are the ones that should really be stepping it up and going, yeah, you need some CBDs in your diet, and then you need to smoke this at night. And it's like
that's kind of where we're failing too right now.
Dude, and you look, I just read how like with the pharmaceutical business, like one of the big opioids that's like killing the world was started by like legitimate pharmacists who had a company that they pushed their product, and it was like, I think it was like Oxycontin or something like that, where you're like, dude, that's really like, when you really look at that and you're like, these people were charged federally, like convicted, and they're still just like doing their thing and lobbying bills. And it's like, no, you messed up. You're done. Sit down. It's time for someone else to try something, because we got a whole nother generation of children that we don't want messed up. I don't want them addicted to these things. I want them knowledgeable, and I want them clean-headed so they can take care of my old ass and they clean up this mess that was handed to them. You know, and they need to be firing on all cylinders, and they need to be creating something that's brand new.
Well, to hit on something you said about the doctors, you know, telling you how you need more CBD or more this or that. My boy Todd runs Coca-Cola, and they're setting up these things where they take testing from you, and they send it off to a lab, and the lab tells you. You know what I mean? Like, you could use these types of CBDs. These types of terpenes would help you, because it's been proven, you know, different types of terpenes activate different receptors and stuff like that. So it said, okay, you know, like they kind of take a DNA platform of you.
Nice.
And they say, okay, well, these types of things in cannabis will help you. Not only that, but then they give you a dietary plan as well of food to eat. Because, you know, there's like blood type diets and all that kind of stuff. So they kind of give you a whole breakdown of everything. Wow. And say, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, make sure, you know, stick to strains like this. Like, they know you're going to go smoke other stuff. Right. But, you know, like, if you're feeling like shit, it's because you're not, you know, you need to steer towards this path. You've probably been smoking this kind of shit, you know, and eating this kind of shit. That's why you feel bad. So go towards this route, and then you're going to feel better. You know what I mean? And so they're putting all of that together, and it's really going to be like a great, you know, just leaps and bounds for people to be able to be tested. And your health, the best part is that your health insurance will take care of it, because it's done by a legitimate company.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're not handling any cannabis cells or anything like that. It's just testing. Right. They're just testing your blood and telling you what you need. You know, there's nothing illegal about it. Right. They're offering you medical advice, which they're allowed to do. So, you know what I mean? So it's really cool. So, like, just wanted to drop you guys on that one, Todd from Coca-Cola. And it's a really cool product that they're coming out with.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's amazing, especially, you know, coming in, being able now not to be suppressed and be able to utilize these avenues and stuff. You know, we're really going to find some amazing things, even in just the way that we absorb cannabis, and, you know, the way it enters our body, being able to take blood tests and stuff like that, and seeing where we're actually deficient, because it is really a deficiency. You know, we're all deficient in cannabinoids, and
that's why we got to eat protein, and you know, and I mean, people drink protein drinks because they, you know, don't have enough, and people are anemic and shit like that.
You could be feeding hemp to cows and eating them steaks, and you'd be getting the cannabinoids, you know, and that's the thing is, like, I think in nature, you know, all the Rastas would talk about how sheep and birds and all these other things eat, you know, cannabis, and I think, like, you know, it grows in all these climates, and you can have that system set up. It's not like everybody has to just be rolling dubs all day. Like, get that out of the mentality, and that's
actually one of the least healthy ways to ingest cannabis. The healthiest way is to eat it, and the healthiest way would be to have your food eat it. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like, if you're gonna choose to eat meat, why not have, you know, your food at that point? Yeah, like you know, really eating some awesome stuff, because they feed our cows crap. And then we
Stony Cow Farms.
Yeah,
Stony Cow Farms.
Awesome.
I like that. Let's do it.
That'd be awesome. Well, think about it. If you got a legal hemp farm, which you can do now, you could relatively do that, and it would be 100% legal. It's not illegal to feed that shit to your cows, especially if it's being produced legally.
Right.
And actually, the farms would help with the greenhouse gas that the cows bring. So I mean, it'd be
put them next to each other.
Oh yeah, they'd be walking through
the air, because I mean,
scraping hash off their bodies.
That's genius.
Yeah, I mean, it would. You know, you couldn't have them walk through it though.
You're right.
There's so many.
They destroy that shit.
There's so many. There's so many different avenues too that this industry and this movement has bring for a lot of different entrepreneurs to do whatever they want. You know, it's a whole new thing. We haven't seen something like this since like the internet and alcohol. You know.
You gave me a great idea though.
Go.
You can't walk through it, right? But hemp can always grow, right? As long as you're watering it.
Yeah.
So if you dig a trench, it's about a couple of feet deep, and you plant everything down there and put a feeder trough on one side, it'll always grow, and then they'll sit there and eat the top of the hemp plants, and all you have to do is water it. You wouldn't actually have to really deal with much, and they'd be eating live hemp at that point.
And the manufacturing of that machine alone would create an entire industry. Right. Dudes wouldn't even be touching a piece of cannabis in their whole lives, and they would be part of making these machines that they'd be sticking in.
Do you know why it wouldn't ever go through right now? Because it would destroy industries and make billions of dollars.
And that, let me just say, that alone, and the fact that kills so many good ideas in this earth is really sad. And if there's anything that, like, if it's like your one words could get to that 1% of those people that pull the strings. It's like, be righteous. You know, you've proven to us that you can be this way time and time and time again. Flip the script, you know what I mean? Do something that's absolutely epic for us, for our fish tank, for us, the fish, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I think we're already as a community already pushing past that, you know, and bringing cannabis out to light is really because that's what we're gonna do. You know, we're gonna destroy a lot of industries. We're gonna destroy the plastic industry. We're gonna destroy the paper industry. We're gonna destroy the oil industry. We're gonna destroy the pharmaceutical industry. We're gonna put a big dent in the alcohol industry. I mean, cotton. I mean, clothing, rubber. You know, plastic. Buildings,
food cooking oil, gas, gasoline industry,
biofuels.
You guys remember George Washington Carver in history? Yeah. Remember they said this dude made
we went to school and actually educated you
out of peanuts.
Sure.
So, like I said, public education, and like they said how he made everything out of peanuts. And I remember tripping like, where's all those products at? You know what I mean? And it's like they were like showing us
and held by a different company that will not use them.
Right.
Which is just,
you know what I mean?
like, come on.
Look it up, and that's where it is.
God blessed. Like, can we? I just want to prosper.
I know for a fact that there are probably, let's say like 4 or 5%, right? Okay, so not for a fact. Let's say that's like 4 or 5% of millionaires in the United States are actually millionaires because they had products that were never brought to light and they were paid for them.
Wow.
Right. I know like 3 or 4 people that have done that, have had products that would change and revolutionize one industry, but it would also shut down and make it harder for these ones to operate. So they got bought out. You know, they thought, you know, and as they're going through it, they get told, you know, oh, this is going to be awesome, da 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 da. As soon as you sign it over and that check's given to you, they can do whatever they want. They just shut shit down.
Yeah, you're out on the yacht fishing. I'm like, what happened? I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking racing Ferraris tonight at 8 p.m. Sure. You know, right before, you know, and that's the thing. It's like,
if we could break into the U.S. Patent Office, we could change the fucking world.
For sure.
That is so...
And on so many different levels, because there's technology for different cars. There's technology for cleaner running cars. You know what I mean?
Let these young bloods, instead of getting caught up in video games and all this dumb mess, and I'll sound old as hell, but it's like, if they open up that patent world so that younger minds could give a crack at it.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just like, we could pick and choose. And then Marlboro could sponsor that. You know, they don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to destroy, you know, necessarily everybody. It's just they need to recognize that it's a new paradigm. We're in a new era. We're in a new way of thinking.
And the only problem is that the way they operate is really slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old money, baby.
Yeah, it's old money, and old money operates super slow, and so they're really just kind of rolling into it. It's getting to be really, you know, they're coming with it.
Right.
They're gonna come get us, and it's just coming in really super slow. And you know, we'll live to see it. We're gonna live to see the beginning and the middle.
Right.
And you know, our kids are gonna, and that's why what we're setting it up for is so our kids can hopefully take over at the end and not get completely walked out of this business. Because, I mean, how many small breweries do you really know about?
Actually, I live in North San Diego, and there's quite a bit of small mom and pop breweries, and I think that eventually, I know that we're gonna have big tobacco come in and grow their crap, but and I hate to sit here and talk about them like this, but you know, they can't even grow tobacco without spraying it with all their pesticides and stuff. What makes them think they're gonna be able to come in on such a tightly regulated industry in California and be able to do anything that we can't already do?
Right.
Well, I think the good thing is that at that point we're going to get bought out, and they're going to start hiring those people.
They're going to give the master growers
jobs,
billions of dollars. You know, they'll be like, here's your mansion. Now you work for Marlboro, and those dudes will,
because
and that's a come up. I mean, I'm not really hating on that, because if those dudes can run Marlboro right and make Marlboro growing some organic epic shit that they started in a room in OB,
I think we're seeing a big change though in society in general, wanting to support more mom and pops
for sure,
all over the place, whether it be at the farmers market or whether it be going to local, even staying away from Starbucks and going to local coffee shops is a new thing. And, like you said, the breweries. I've seen a lot of breweries popping up in North County, and I think that boutique gardeners and people who still want to grow that flame in small 100 light batches or whatnot are still going to be able to do that and thrive very well.
I think they'll thrive too.
I hope
in
so.
the local community.
I'll support it.
And then you'll get the packaged up marble stuff and all that good stuff. But I think that there's still a big opportunity. Plus, realistically, once this thing goes, every brand in California is going to do well across the state, across the whole country. Once we're able be able to start marketing it. I mean,
well, what I think is crazy, what I'm really waiting for is that when they allow us to do state to state.
right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because look what happened to Vegas.
For sure.
Dude, and then you're gonna really
And a lot of
prove-
other states don't grow like we do anyways.
and now
Nobody
the trucking
grows like we do.
industry.
Nobody grows like we do.
I played the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam.
Cali butter, no bud.
Southern California, Southern California, and when we were in Germany, they were like, "Yo, in Germany they got this beer police, and these dudes roll around to all the breweries and make sure that the breweries are brewing to a standard because as an export, Germany don't want no bullshit leaving the country.
Yeah.
And as America, specifically California as a state, we can do that shit.
Yeah.
We can produce the
I think
world's
we
best
are.
marijuana.
We're going to.
We are.
Anybody's
No, we're
gonna-
going to.
Bing bong, we
That's all.
are.
We are.
It's the pot snob police, bro. Believe me. And if
For sure.
anybody can do it, California is going to be the number ones to be like,
Right.
no, that stuff fucking sucks. Fuck you. Get that out of here.
Out
Right.
next.
And on that note, we're going to take a little break real quick here on the Cannabis Council. We will be right back shortly and continue this fucking finance conversation we're having. Stick with us here.
Yeah.
on chaoticradio.com.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just got a special message sound at the extra terpy. Get your fucking ass here. Where are you? I know you're listening because I've gotten text messages from you, little fucker. No, I know you're taking care of your fam, but get here because I know you want in on this conversation, bro. Because like I've been thinking the whole time, like, man, this motherfucker is really sad he's not here because I know he's got good info to fucking drop on us right now. Because he pays attention to a lot more like the political shit than I do. Yeah, you know. So like, yeah, he's all about it. So I'm like, fuck, man, this conversation's perfect. When he gets here, watch it. He's gonna be like, okay, what? We gotta go back to this one because I got this to say. Wait, hold on.
His whole notepad's filled up before he gets here with things to go back on.
For sure. It's all good though, because no, like he's real bright on it. You know what I mean? That's why I have him here. And so like, you know, I was thinking the whole time, like, man, that little fucker, he's sad. I was hoping he'd show up. That's why I was trying to take a little bit longer of a break.
Yeah, and it's so hard, you know, just keeping track of politics. It's like a job in itself. You know, each city's different. Everybody's changing. Things go from one thing to another. Somebody blows up their house and now they don't want extractions at all in their city. You know, it's just like, it's crazy.
So check this out. Speaking of cities and things that they're doing, Riverside had a city council meeting recently. And I know a couple of individuals that went there. I didn't get to go, so I do not know all of the facts. But one thing that they were telling me is Riverside is considering, because they have a moratorium right now, so they are considering having 7 different collectives in the 7 different types of, you know, the areas. So it's broken up to 7 different boroughs, let's call it that. Right. So it's broken up to 7 different boroughs, and they're thinking about having a collective in each different one. So, I mean, like, that's from where Riverside, you know, we're just basically shutting them down, like not even wanting to deal with it. Fuck it, get the hell out. To now actually considering it is big in my eyes. Whether it goes through or not, you know, who cares? I think because, well, let's face it, Riverside's a greedy city. And they're looking at the money aspect. So if it doesn't go through this year, they're definitely going to push it next year. When they see all the money come, they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you guys can come. But 2, I think they're doing it because you have to, only cities that are allowing the pot shops are going to be able to collect the tax revenue.
Taxes, yeah.
So again, they're going to be like, wait a minute, we get tax revenue, plus we get your guys' tax revenue. Right. You know, they get the state, plus that, they're all about it. And I think a lot more cities are starting to come around like that. You know, I know Upland kind of basically said no to industrial grows, and they're trying to say no to collectives. But also, I think that they kind of stopped that, and they're shifting. I think they're going to shift gears and at least allow a couple because everybody wants that tax dollars.
They're going to get left in the damn poverty dust. Every civic organization pretty much is hurting for money. You know, actually, it was crazy. We were on tour in Erie, Pennsylvania, and there's like this little museum where they break down how many like epic things were built from steel that was made in Erie, like way back in the day. You're talking about the Brooklyn Bridge and like, you know, all these buildings that are still standing. And like when shit is popping, like literally everybody is prospering. There are jobs and the roads are like smooth and the police are all paid. I mean, we're in this time frame where there's holes in the roads and they're just people are scratching their heads trying to figure out how to run a city in the modern era where the population's tripled what it used to be. And without any of that, and that's the one thank you that's like they're making money and they're like, yo, I'll pay taxes, dude. I really actually want to be left the fuck alone. Yeah. And I want you to stop fucking coming over. So here's your goddamn money. Now get the hell out of here. You know, it's like,
that's for sure.
And that's really what we got to just keep doing. And that's all they want. You know, it's like grease the wheels.
Well, I see cities like San Bernardino, right? We're all familiar with that city. And it's very poverty stricken. And it's been, I mean, it's just been getting worse. Right. But now with this, San Bernardino is one of the cities and counties that are saying, hell yeah. We're cannabis all day long. Right. And I mean, look at San Bernardino. They have tons and tons of pot shops right now. Right. You know, and so they're one of the main cities. It's like, yep, we're going to issue licenses left and fucking right. So they're going to have people from other cities around coming into theirs, generating revenue for their city. Right. You know what I mean? And watch that city who is very poor right now.
Let's face it. They just stimulated growth. Right. They just invited people in, saying, hey, come live in our city because we're actually going to play ball.
They're bringing money in, and watch that city transform now. Watch their police force grow first, because you know that's going to happen. But with the police force growing, it's going to go ahead and you know change the aspect of the people that are there. You know, I'm not saying lock everybody up, but you know, I mean, you know, not only that, but it's
Law and order.
Yeah, law and order, exactly. But not only that, but it's going to give revenue to help those people, to help the homeless, and to get those people off of the streets, to help create that law and order. And watch, I believe San Bernardino is going to be one of the biggest changes that come from the cannabis industry, at least around, like right here, that you're going to be able to see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially when LA's coming up with some dumbass shit. You know, they got their whole things backwards. They want to go back to this whole underground, you know, Prop D, same thing that they were doing in Prop D instead of going with Measure M. I think they're going to be, everybody's going to, like you said, come out here to the Empire. You know, if they're not going to allow it out there, which they, I mean, they're dumb for it. You know,
they'll be the first ones like, oh, wait, come back, come back. Sorry. Because that money's going to go just like water through a canyon.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because, you know, they're going to go from, because all of San Bernardino County is saying yes, because the county, you know, whatever, council, whatever they are, you know, is all for it. So exactly, people are going to drive from that other county and be like, no, fuck it. Why deal with it here when I can set up business here? You know, way easier.
Look at all the money going to the high desert right now. You know, I mean, everybody's moving everything up to Adelanto and up there, you know, because they're allowing it, another poverty-stricken area that's going to just do really well from this industry, you know, especially if we take advantage of the solar and the wind power that we could utilize up there. I mean,
my God,
it's just, you know, it could be really huge for us.
Well, think about it, dude. All the cannabis farmers that go up there within a couple of years, they're going to want to go all solar and go all wind. They're gonna be like, I don't want to fucking pay for this.
For sure.
Why? Well, here, I'll put all this money towards it this year so I don't have to deal with it the next fucking 10 years.
Right.
I'm down.
Done doing it.
Yeah, and that's nothing but green energy. It's helping the environment, and that's what our industry is all about. You know what I mean? I don't get me wrong, and I have to point this out because I point out the good and the bad on my show. People are going to do big grows, and they are going to do things incorrectly.
For sure. Totally.
Okay, let's face that. The people are going to go for the quick buck, and they're going to do it that way. And let's face it, that's what's going to be focused on the media and shit. If people, you know, want to do it bad, but there are going to be many people doing it the correct way, like you just said, you know, setting up, like, you know, green energy and doing things the right way and bringing money into a situation that really needs it. You know, the high desert really needs it. It's I mean, methamphetamines is so fucking rampant up there,
big time.
And I would rather deal with some kid that's stoned, that's all spun out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or some guy who's got a grow up and he's actually, you know, employing 25, 50 people in the area that would normally just be hanging out at the liquor store, and are doing, you know, robbing people. You know, it's like, again, idle hands are the devil's plaything. And it's just like, we got to recognize that all this epidemic we have, including the obesity and the addiction to social media and the addiction to, like, you know, it's like, we want to be healthy, dig into the ground, you know, go out in the sun, get some sunshine in the daytime. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I'm farming. Oh yeah, look at me.
You'd be giving people value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right now, I think that's what a lot of people don't have at work, is that people don't feel valued. You know, because you don't necessarily see your hard work. You know, you're sitting there and you're filling out, you know, fucking entering data all day. So yeah, you see a spreadsheet that's created, but you know, you don't see that your hard work actually going anywhere.
Right.
And when you see your hard work going somewhere, you have value to your work, and you want to work harder, and you want to produce a better product. And that's one thing that, you know, in this industry that's really driven this industry, and why, you know, why we have such potent marijuana, why we have such potent concentrates, why we have such fucking potent CBD concentrates, is because people want to do this the best. We're not necessarily trying to make it as potent as you can. Yes, a lot of people are, but you're trying to make it as potent as you can because you're trying to use this product to help somebody. You know what I mean? It has a greater purpose than just trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to get really fucked up.
No, but that's inherent in human nature. What is moonshine? Where I grew up, moonshine is like literally a staple. And in all my life, it was, I'm not making this up.
No, I know.
A 70-year-old woman named Fuzzy that we'd go get moonshine from, that was passed on from my uncle's connection.
You can't make a story up like that.
No, you can't. This toothless ass lady had the milk jugs that were converted over, and it was completely illegal, you know, no labels on it. But yet that industry was like 150, 200 years old within itself. And, you know, you find in those hills these big earth mounds where they would hide all the jars. And then you look at like how they do these little concentrate shops and how these guys are really making the strongest concentrates. It's in our blood, dude. That's what we do. And they're actually just crushing it. They're making whiskey, man. I mean, You know, it's that's all it is. And look at it, like something like Jack Daniels. That's manufactured in a dry county. So here there's this thing where these push and pull of these laws. The county that Jack Daniels has made, you cannot go buy a drink.
You can't drink it in the town.
No, it's a dry county.
Yeah,
look at it.
And they're only allowed to sample it in the Jack Daniels warehouse,
which is
on
like
Jack
a sovereign
property. Yeah, it's like this little thing that they give away.
And they've been there since the 1800s.
But why do they do that? Money.
And that's the thing. We can just take a page right out of that book and fine. You don't want me to have a shop, but we can make concentrates in this county? Pfft, all damn day. Welcome to Jack Daniels 2017.
Yeah, and they collect the tax revenue from it.
Boom.
You know what I mean? And then because you allow people to make concentrates, you're still collecting state tax revenue.
Yeah.
You know?
And a little bit to touch on about making people, you know, having value in what you do. I think that's really what's pushed our whole industry as a whole to self-regulate, to have the best, to point out, you know, companies that are making mistakes by using pesticides, because we know where it's going and we've seen it. Everybody who does something in this industry has seen this plant do something firsthand to make you want to be like, oh man, let's take care of this. Let's move this forward. This is a movement that, you know, we want to be behind because it's a good movement. You know, it really is something that brings value to our lives and other people. You know, I've seen so many hundreds of people touched by this plant and lives changed and quality of life, something that we forget about so much of. You know, we're always talking about medications and, you know, relieving our pain and taking medicine for this and that. But what it boils down to is our quality of life is being stripped away from us with these pills, you know, and our family's quality of life. And that's what I saw when my sister was passing, because she moved from here, from California over to New York, where, you know, she couldn't really get herb. And I just saw her quality of life just drain going into pharmaceuticals. And if anything that this plant can do more than anything is bring back the quality of life to so many people suffering, whether it's suffering in their own mind or suffering from pain or illness that's caused her. So I really, you know, like you said, it is really going to bring a lot of value to workers, knowing that this is what they're doing. It's like, you know, you work at McDonald's and you see this food that's poisoning people, you know, how can you wake up every morning and be happy about going to work, you know? Whereas when you get into the farm, you're going to be like, man, I'm making some CBDs, it's 1-to-1. I know Jimmy Diamonds is going to, you know, extract it, and this is amazing medicine and it's going to heal people all along the way, man. I'm getting up today. I'm getting up at 6 in the morning and I'm going to do this till 6 at night, 10 at night, whatever it takes to get this medicine out, you know? And it's a whole nother drive. It's amazing.
No, and let me just I'm gonna burst some bubbles on this one, but like big shout out to Bully Market and all the crew, because like I'm going through transitions. My whole life I was a musician. I was a weed musician. You know, I was always a part of bands that were very much attached to the cannabis industry, very much pushing it. You know, my bosses used to smoke blunts on stage everywhere we played. That was a big one to publicly do that, and I always felt like, yeah, I was part of this movement. And now I'm actually working on a farm, and I'm really it's therapeutic. It's like connecting me to whole, and it's helping the music now grow, and it's all of those things. And one thing that's so true about this industry is like the music industry. A lot of people, like, their perception of the music industry is like so different than what it actually is. The music industry is one of the most volatile, hateful, don't give a fuck about you as a person type industries, and one that I actually, apart from that, I love music. When I had my child, I was like, if she don't want nothing to do with music, that's fine with me, because this shit tore me up. And every other industry, I did a lot of construction and carpentry in Boston. That industry, the real estate industry, I think pretty much every industry is full of just like backstabbing, don't give a fuck, you're just a number, get the fuck out of here. But the cannabis industry, I mean, you think about every bud you've ever smoked was trimmed by somebody, and they risked
every good bud anyways.
They risked their fucking families, like they risked so much to bring you something that you burned up. And how many bong hits did I take at 17, 18, 19, 25 that I didn't give a fuck? I was just like, where's the next sack? Without really realizing that there is an insane amount of dedication and love. Okay, there is one other industry that has that kind of love. And that's teachers. Teachers that don't make a goddamn bit of money, but they show up every day because they're concerned about these little children turning into zombies if they don't fucking teach them anything. And then it's very rare that you find on a human level. That's the thing. What are they doing, Frank? It's like there's so many of those Franks out there. Sorry, Frank. But you know, there's so many of that. It's like it makes you on a spiritual level, and you don't have to, you know, pick a god. But just on a spiritual level, if you really honestly care about your fellow human being, then you have to think a certain way. And the cannabis industry is full of love. I don't know of any industry that like really has that much love in risking everything kind of love, which is like revolutionary kind of love. Like we gonna get shot if we doing this, but we gonna do it anyway. And it's like there's a lot of honor in that. There's a lot of romance and everything that is part of every generation that is really attractive, that I think we're gonna win in the end of the fucking day, you know?
Yeah.
So
no, I same thing. I think the same thing. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of love in this industry. Everybody loves this industry. We love this plant. You know what I mean? And yeah, people have been willing to go to jail for a plant for all these years. I just recently met Eddie Lepp. You know who that is?
I heard of him.
yeah.
Jack Herrera's best friend. He did 10 years in the federal pen. And, like, I got to sit there and talk with him, you know, it was just a few minutes, you know what I mean? But to hear, like, just his old school stories and shit was just nuts to be like, man, thank you. You know, because I looked at him and said, thank you, because, you know, because of you, I can be on the air.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, that's 100%. You know, I can be on the air and I can talk about cannabis and do things because you guys like you stood up and did this. And he's not the only one, and he's one of the first people to tell you that. I'm not the only person. You know, many people have gone to jail. Many people have done things, you know what I mean, to sacrifice for this.
And on that note, many more are still going to continue. You know,
Yeah.
we're you know, we've won a battle. You know, we're moving very, you know.
No, the war is not over.
But the war is not over, you know. And I think that a lot of is getting missed in our industry too, as companies are growing and you know, branding themselves. They're forgetting that, you know, we are still at war. You know, we still have Jeff Sessions. We still have a whole nation that needs to open up their eyes and be open to it. We're still federally legal. You know, those things need to change. You know, that way we can actually walk around and free and not have to worry about, you know, them coming in and taking our stuff. You know, I've been raided a couple times and my property seized and never been charged with anything, you know, and been a victim of.
But you didn't get nothing back.
But I didn't get nothing back. Guaranteed that. You know, they kept
that's
all
a
that
total
shit.
crime,
you know?
dude. I mean,
That's
you weren't
robbery.
charged with anything.
Actually, the federal government has taken more property from drugs without convicting than robberies in the United States alone. You know what I mean? Like those numbers are huge, and it's sickening because. You know, we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but yet they could come in and take stuff that are ours without proving that we did something wrong, you know? So that those type of things.
Yeah, and then
really
you got to fight them. It takes months and a lot more of your money to get your own things back that they never had the right to take in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
And then they try and make it such an uphill battle, and that's why. Okay, and here's the thing: don't get overwhelmed. It's always been an uphill battle, and I always go back to like the Ben Franklin crew on this one. But it's like there's strength in numbers as long as we stay united and we stay focused and we stay peaceful. Is for the most part, defiance is a big part of our culture, the American experience. It's all about defiance. Look it up. Look. You know, you ain't read nothing in your history books. And the Constitution's written on hemp paper, baby. Like, those, and I thought about this. Like, what's cool about the fact that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, these guys were capitalistic, entrepreneurial dudes. They had land.
They're
and the hemp was like actually worth a lot of money. And they were like, of course I'm going to grow hemp. If, you know, I'm also going to grow cherries and I'm going to grow some corn. I'm going to grow all this other shit that makes money because it's just growing out of the ground. And this whole capitalistic idea, because this was the thing. England was making all the products. We were growing all this shit and having to ship it over to England.
We're import only country at that point.
And that was Ben was like, dude, we can be putting a factory up here and we could do it right here. We could just sell it to England fully finished. And that was literally the seed of everything we call America now, you know, and people really overcomplicate it so much. And it's like, dude, I mean, you want to see my tattoo?
No, see. Aha, don't tread on it.
You know, which I love the whole, and he wrote something, you know, deep about the rattlesnake to where it's not like it's a creepy thing. It's like, hey, fool, I'm warning you, this is mine. We all got enough room. Let's do this.
Stay away from my area.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't come in here and try to tell me what to do in my house.
Right. I'm doing it just fine.
Yeah, I'm doing it, and I'm paying you to be here anyways. So fuck off.
Boom.
Right.
How's that
Like,
for the real end?
Like that thing called property tax? I pay that, fucker.
Right.
Wait, weren't you created because we were just tired of like doing this shit ourselves? Like, you know.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, so you're mad. Raise my property tax.
Right.
You know what I mean? Raise taxes. There's countries that have 50% taxes, but yet they get free healthcare and they get free all kinds of shit. You know, and those people are perfectly fucking happy doing it.
Right.
Because they get vacations or, you know, paid vacations and they get all these things, and that's fine.
Quality of life.
Right, and quality of life. And that's where America fucks up. surrounds their quality of life with how much money they have, which is completely fucking ass backwards. Because you can have a few dollars and be perfectly happy.
Right.
Yep.
You know, your bills are paid, you're happy, you got your family, and you're perfectly cool. But America, if in America, no, I'm sorry, that's not the American dream. You got to be a millionaire. You got to, you know, drive a Ferrari and, you know, all this other kind of crazy shit. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm cool.
Yeah.
If I'd be cool with $100,000 a year and my kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just chilling. I wouldn't even, after that, I don't give a fuck, you know? But everybody, that's just not how this country and this economy, unfortunately, is built. You have to make as much as you possibly can, and you have to keep it all for yourself.
And we're destroying as much as we can in the process without even thinking, you know? It's we're just running through our resources and not using the ones that, you know, are truly, you know, sustainable and usable, like hemp, you know?
Well, it's like you said, it's such a slow machine to change that they're like, no, it's working like this. And it's like, no, it's not, dude. Not. Like, for you, because you're so up here in this little bubble, like, you don't get it. Like, you know, and I could actually we could all come up, and it won't even affect your little bubble. Your little bulletproof cars that come and pick you up and take you to the ball, it's still you're gonna still go there. We're just gonna not be stressing, you know?
You ever had a job where your manager or boss doesn't actually know how to do your job?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. And then when they tell you to do something, you look at them like, the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't, like, go do it. Try that. Will that work? Because you're probably going to lose a fucking hand or something.
No, I've been in a safety situation where a dude was like, no, do it. And I'm like, no, you do it.
You do it.
I ain't losing an arm.
No. Yeah, at that point, I'm like, I'm sorry, it's up to the manager to teach me. You can go ahead and show me how. You know what I mean? Like, nah, you lose that fucking finger.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'll be the first one to say that shit.
But I feel like that's part of what the government does with the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the boss who has no fucking idea what we do.
Right.
Right? It's like, yeah, do this. What? Wait. Come down here and work for a second.
Right.
Just fucking 5 minutes.
Right.
So you can just see what we do. And then it's going to change everything, and we can work together and work in a better light. Jeff Sessions is that boss.
Right.
He's like, do things this way. Motherfucker, that's already been proven wrong. Like,
right.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The handbook got rewritten. You can't be a boss and come back in and go, okay, we're going to use a handbook from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because this is going to work. We're just going to revamp this one to be a little bit modern. No. Shit has changed too fucking much to use that.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to use laws. We're going to operate like we 20 years ago. No, the laws have fucking changed. Well, Jeff Sessions, the laws have fucking changed.
Changeless, code. He really believes in this changeless code. And I'm, okay, there's good aspects of the South, but inherently that is the summing it up, the problem with that old Southern mentality.
Yeah.
Is their inability to accept anything new, their inability to understand that. And that alone is just like, dude, how can you miss the boat?
Yeah. No.
How is that even possible?
How is that possible?
All this money, all this shit going on, you really like...
Yeah, you're just gonna ignore this. You know what I mean? I saw. Okay, what's that fucking guy's name? Oh, god damn it, McCain.
Yeah, I was just gonna. You're reading my mind.
Okay. Did you see the meme?
No, I didn't.
Where he's like this, and it goes, the moment you realize you spent 30 years outlawing a plant that can now cure your brain cancer.
Oh man!
Bam!
Woo!
And they gave a patent to a company, GW Pharmaceuticals, to be working on that specific thing, glioblastoma.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. And yet now, we got this guy, that's suffering from it and probably won't take the medicine out of his own stupidity, out of his own thing. And realistically, he has about 6 weeks to 6 months to live.
And think on a soldier level, he was brainwashed, and he's gonna march right into there, right to the fucking end. And it's like, damn, you are way smarter than that, dude.
Right.
Like, you could actually be fighting our cause.
My buddy Eddie Funksta has some great stuff that would help you, bro. Just pull your head out of your ass.
Right.
Actually, he has some suppositories that you could stick up your ass to fill that void afterwards. And believe me, he will custom make them to extra large, so it's the same size as your fucking head. But it'll just get rammed right up in there. Believe me, you're used to it. And it will actually help you, you dumb fuck. Please pull your head out of your ass, dude. Like, you spent 30 years, just like the meme said, outlawing a plant that can now fucking help you.
Right.
Well, what is it that makes these people have this negative take on bud? Is there something that happened to that dude when he was a little dude? You know, like did a girl get swiped up by the pot dealer and that was it?
Yeah. Well, that's what happened to Harry Anslinger.
Oh, fuck that guy. So, Extra Chirpy, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Finally here.
How was that
Didn't even
drive?
have time to change. Got my work shirt on still. It was good.
Did you just turn it? He did. He turned it inside out. I can see the logo.
Tight.
Yep.
That's how we roll.
I love that. You know what? You should say fuck them and turn it right side out. Like, fuck you. I'm on the Cannabis Council, you fucking faggots. I wish I could say their name. I'm not going to, though, because I like him being able to be here.
Yes, no, we need you. Welcome.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so I know you got thoughts. What have you been thinking? You've been listening.
Well, first of all, what you were just talking about, was it McCain?
McCain.
Yeah, McCain.
And Sessions.
So if he hadn't been outlawing this whole time, they would have already had the cure for it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That if it would have been, the research would have been started 50, 60,
Just
70
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
However long ago.
So crazy to think about it like that too.
He wouldn't be in this position.
Right.
So think about that, asshole.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fucking funny, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's mind blowing when you really think about, and then again, this goes right back to that whole like changeless code versus a living growth, and then like why. And this is the thing, okay, in my life, and what I really don't like is when I watched my dad be this labeled a liberal and his brother be labeled the conservative, and they would just battle until the day was over, and they'd wake up and keep battling to where. It's like, dude, we're all part of the same thing. We should actually be liberal on certain things and be conservative on certain things and be this kind of blend. Why are you so
You mean like a
idiotic
balance?
that-
Oh my God.
But why? I mean, why are so many people
So-
like? It's like a football thing where it's like, I'm on blue, I'm on red. Fuck you.
Well,
It's like,
I
where
heard
did that
this-
fucking come from,
I heard this one time. It said right wing, left wing, same fucking bird.
dude?
For sure.
Amen. Hello. And
Like-
it's like trying to flap one way. Like,
yeah.
Dude,
It's
you
not
can't
gonna
fly, motherfucker, like this.
Right.
See?
Together.
Together.
That's why it's the left wing and the right wing, and that's why our national bird's a fucking eagle.
Yeah,
I actually saw
boom.
something today that looked cool, and I don't know if, I mean, y'all got to help me out, but centralist. What the fuck is that? Is that
I don't know.
a centralist? Is that someone that's in the middle? Because that's
See,
almost sounds appealing.
This is what I say. I say I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an American.
yeah,
Right.
brother. Boom.
Okay. I want what's best for America. Now,
Right.
having that, okay, sometimes you're right. Okay, well, sometimes you're right. Most of the time, you're fucking stupid. Most of the time, you're fucking stupid. You know what I mean? And that's just how it works. It's that old thing, what? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out of
Totally.
here.
Right.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I want to go through Congress. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You know, but can't do that, unfortunately.
You guys know who Edward Bernays is?
It sounds familiar.
Can't say
He's the nephew of Sigmund Freud.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty much where it all started, what you're talking about. It's the whole indoctrination thing
Okay.
and schools and everything else, media, pushing people to these certain roles. I mean, they're just it's cookie cutter shit. They're just filling a fucking void. Like, hey, this is what you are. They're telling people what they are. And people are too stupid to fucking open their eyes and say, no, that's not me.
Totally.
MTV generation.
Well, it goes way before that. I mean, this started all back in like the 1920s with like the Freedom March, where the women. His first big experiment was a New York March in, I believe, the 1920s, where tobacco companies were trying to get women to smoke cigarettes.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
so what they did is they made this whole big thing. They got all these women in like American flags and had these cigarettes, and they all lit them at the same time. They had all the media right there, right where they were going to do it. Everything planned out. So every paper in the U.S. had this. Same headline.
Wow.
And that's the big, they teach you women
Freedom
were
torch.
liberated by
Freedom torch.
Yeah.
Freedom torch.
So
Dude.
they put it in this women's head that if I smoke cigarettes, I'm going to break free. I'm going to say fuck you to all these guys that have been oppressing me for so damn long.
Wow.
And
Meanwhile,
heavy.
like Frank of the tobacco industry is like, it worked.
It worked. We got him hooked.
Yep. And once that worked, and once they saw what this guy could do and what research could do into manipulating people.
Right.
I used to
Based
live
off
in Reno
of-
Valley, right? And everybody knows that's predominantly black town. And I lived in a black neighborhood. I think I was pretty much the only white family there, and which honestly wasn't anything. I'm just stating that for purposes of this story. I was talking one day to my buddy DeAndre, and we're sitting there talking about the fact of just like that. They subliminally send messages out to people. And he goes, "Man, what the fuck are you talking about?" And I was like, "Come on, dude, let's go." So we went to go get some food, and as we're getting some food, we're driving through Monroe Valley, and there's a McDonald's post billboard. There's a black family. And I said, "See the black family?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I got on the fucking freeway and I drove to Riverside. We go by a McDonald's poster. There's a white family. I said, "See the family?" He goes, "Fuck you." And I was like, "I'm right, huh?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Fuck." And, we went and got food, went home and shit. And a couple weeks later, he comes back to my house. And he's over my house almost every day. But a couple weeks later, he comes back in one day and he's like, "Man," he goes, "I just went to LA and went driving through all the different fucking neighborhoods." He goes, "You're sure as shit." He goes, "Every fucking neighborhood is just, it's demographic, just like this."
Yep.
And that's how they do it. And I said, "Yeah, dude, they market by demographic."
Well, even now, technology has been able to start reading the color of our skin and our face features and determining, who we are. Japan's launched a bunch of commercial things directed towards whoever's standing there in front of the TV or the camera, so they could actually pinpoint who you are and market directly towards you and what you do. Now with our phones and what we're searching, everything's marketed directly towards, like, I get a bunch of gross stuff all the time on my phone, majority of things that come through on my screen are gross stuff now, well, how the hell my phone know I'm...
Like you guys were saying earlier, but the patents, there's so much suppressed. So much suppressed. And, like, what did the government have back in, like, the 70s? Like the what is it, SR-71 and everything else. Like, they don't show us what they got.
Right.
They don't show us the capabilities they have with the NSA and spying and that facial recognition. They got that shit already. They've had that for a long time.
This is what I've always said. I used to have conversations with my dad, and I'd always say, "Man, if that's what they're willing to show us, what the fuck are they hiding?"
Right.
Totally.
Because they outed. Okay, do you know that they already have a new stealth bomber? Because they stopped making the old stealth bomber.
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, well now, did you know that they have a new stealth bomber?
The one that they have in public eye now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how long they've actually had it?
Probably like 20 years.
Since the day the old one stopped being made.
Yeah.
Okay, they were working on the new one while the old one, and they started putting the new one in production. That's why they stopped making the fucking old one. They told everybody, "No, we stopped making it because da da da." No, because they fucking started making a new one.
Dang.
That was the reason why the SR-71 got retired. Do you want to know why? Because they made a drone that could fly just as fucking fast.
This is that one. Dang.
And just as fucking high.
And dude's like, General Frank's like, "Wait, pimply face Roy can sit there in this trailer and do the same thing that I'm paying fucking Lieutenant Hotshot over here to do?"
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bye, Maverick.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's just it. Because we got the drones and everything. Right. Or else, believe me, they would have a new SR-71. They have a new stealth bomber because there's a need for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And believe me, the new one looks fucking badass. Have you guys seen it?
I haven't.
You need to. It looks fucking
dope. So my grandpa was a B-17 pilot, so I definitely got a thing for bombers.
Yeah. And it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, it looks fucking cool because it's a stealth plane. They got to be all like the jagged shit and all that stuff. It's fucking dope. You know what I mean? They got the Raptor, too. That's got stealth capability.
Dang.
The F-22 Raptor. Stealth capability. That's why it's all like it is. That's why when you open the belly doors for the Raptor, that's when they open. That's why they have the jagged edges.
Right, because it bounces up. We need to build greenhouses like that, and then they won't just stealth greenhouses.
Listen up, people. Listen up.
We were thinking of the Cheech and Chong with they pulled the fake
the
pool. He pops through. Like, I swear.
He's swimming.
Like,
dude, I love that. He's on top of the ladder and he's acting like he's swimming and shit.
The helicopter
Turns over.
Yeah. He's all backstroke. But no, seriously, man, that would actually work. I actually joked with my dad about that one day, and he's like, "Man, we should do that." But it wouldn't, you have to have one deep ass fucking hole in the ground in order to just put the pool over. But that would probably fucking work, Nowadays, not, because they got the damn heat sensors.
Yeah.
Fuck you, infrared.
Technology. How about the laser guns that the military just came out with too to shoot down the drones?
Yeah, I saw those, dude. Yeah, dude.
How long we had that shit, bro?
Since Tesla.
See?
Did you know that the government only released 10% of Tesla's patents, and they kept the rest of his shit? When Tesla died, the United States government went in and took everything.
Damn.
Took it from his family and all that.
Oh yeah, no.
And then they only released certain things, and they said they held things for the benefit of national security.
Wow.
And then years later, you see and he had plans. Everybody knows he had Tesla's death ray.
Right.
So now
so
we have Teslas
Damn,
left, right?
that's
And when
what's
you
up.
read about Tesla, talk about brands and shit, the one thing in all these like entrepreneurial books that they equate his failure to is that he was a fucking shitty businessman.
Oh, horrible.
a bad
He
But
was such a
didn't brand
scientist
it,
that he
yeah.
was totally involved in his electricity, and you got Alexander Graham Bell, who was really just a PR genius. He had 100
He had friends.
scientists
They stole all this shit.
working, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that they actually will really break it down where they're like, you know, if you're a really good PR guy, you're actually going to go a lot farther than if you're just the guy that's like doing it, you know?
Oh, yeah,
It's-
no, totally.
It's crazy. Like, that happens in music all the time.
Totally. You know, and well, I just want to bring this up. One time, Einstein was asked, "What is it like to be the smartest man in the world?" You know, his response was, "I don't know. Ask Nikola Tesla."
Dang. Boom. Boom.
You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
that's some shit.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, you know, they hold all kinds of shit. You know, they've held Nikola Tesla's patents for fucking ever. They've held the cannabis fucking patents forever. Yeah. What else do they have sitting in that damn office that could actually change this world
Humanity.
for the better?
For sure.
You know what I mean? Not just humanity, but there are things that I'm guaranteeing they hold that would actually change the world, that would help us with greenhouse gas, that would help us with green energy, that would just help the fucking world itself, you know, like ways to turn fucking soil so it's better. But you can't because fucks up the, manure fucking industry or some bullshit.
Which is just, again, with that whole never ending, it's going to fuck up that guy's business. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that guy. Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you. You know, you're actually not that fucking cool.
That's
Fuck
not-
you,
Converter, get
you,
the fuck
and
out.
Fuck you. You know, because it's like,
that's
a
not
win
true
is enough.
capitalism.
Yeah.
There's a
For sure.
French saying that says, behind every great fortune is a great crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not true capitalism. I mean, capitalism is if you got a better product or you got something that's going to wipe something out,
You win.
that's just the way it is.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I
Which
think
is cool.
going on that tightly restricting cannabis with all these shitty ass regulations. I mean, don't get me wrong, the patients need regulations. You know, we patients have been needing something to protect them for a long time.
Yep.
But smashing down all the other businesses that are coming up because they're mom and pops or because they don't have $2 million in their bank account or they don't have this or they don't have that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, man, that's really fucked up because that's not capitalism. That's just bullshit. You know, you're just suppressing people so your people could get into power and your people can thrive. But everybody else who's on a lower income because they don't have it, they can't be part of this program. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck you to those people.
Fuck you to those people for sure.
Serious, man. But unfortunately, that's what we're seeing. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Jungle Boys a while ago were trying to somebody was trying to sue them. And it was a big corporation that owned a collective here in California, but they were trying to just sue them, just trying to stifle the Jungle Boys and trying to stifle TLC. You know what I mean? Because those guys came from, they were nothings. Right. The guy, the head grower Jungle Boys admits, he goes, man, I started with 6 plants and 2 fucking lights. You can't start like this. You got to start like this and move up, And people have tried to already come after those guys, and all that tells me is that they are doing something right if they're that scared fast.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, who's the first people to go after? Them.
Jungle Boys.
You know what I mean? Why? Because they have 300-something thousand people and they get 6,000 likes minimum per fucking picture.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you
Plus
guys.
they're farming hardcore.
Yeah.
They got some beautiful shit going on.
Everything.
You know what I mean?
Dude, they do
that's
everything
power.
hardcore.
Yeah, for sure.
They market hardcore. They got
For
fucking
sure.
everything hardcore, man. Like, their merchandise. I was walking around Chalice. You could seriously go, Jungle Boys, Jungle Boys, Jungle Boys, not. 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 And
about
that's
the
how
line?
much merchandise. Oh, dude, the line, yeah.
Yeah.
We got there before anybody's even let in. Okay, I want to mention that. Before anybody was even fucking let in, there was a line at Jungle Boys from the vendors.
Damn. That
big up
shows
Jungle
you-
Boys.
Okay,
Big ups.
from the people that were working at the vendor booths, they were waiting in line at the Jungle Boys to to be able to get it first, and then for the crowd to come in. The line never died. They were kicking people out of the building. They were like, "No, we're done," and people would still be like, "No."
That's what's
3 hour minimum
3 hour minimum.
Damn.
to wait in line to get Jungle Boys at Chalice.
People were waiting in line. Okay, like they didn't open the booth and for like an hour or something after the gates would open, right? And so literally there was just lines and lines. People were standing there first in line, just waiting, not giving a fuck.
Yeah,
not giving a fuck about anything else that was happening outside. Like, nope, I'm here to get Jungle Boys fucking cannabis.
This was before the awards too, so
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. And that's the social media part of it, combined with just the word of mouth, and just my God, it's like.
Well, honestly, you know what it is? That's fucking staying in your
and
goddamn
having
lane.
bomb ass
Staying in your
product.
lane.
'Cause
Yeah,
that
Staying in your lane,
speaks
man.
for itself.
For sure, and I mean their product, speaks for themselves. Anybody who grows and sees the work that's coming out of there just knows. You know, what I mean, that's just fire and dedication and love.
Yeah, to have an industrial grow that produces that type of fucking cannabis.
Right.
Wow.
It's a lot of love
So
going on in there.
okay, trip on this.
Wow.
Alcohol speaking. It was well known that Al Capone's beer was garbage. They called it green beer because he had the fucking guns. It was like, yeah, we'll take it. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre, the crew he went after, the Bugs Moran crew, they made a lot of their beer from the Saranac area in upstate New York, and that water is really pure. And even to this day, the Saranac Brewery is a smaller brewery that brews bomb-ass beer. And those dudes were making really, really good beer. And it's like, you can romanticize on Al Capone being this cool dude, but he took out the people that were making
was just
some
a good
good beer,
businessman.
and he was on this just like, it doesn't matter about our product, and so that you see the similarities, and you start to see that aspect of it when you really look at the alcohol thing, and there were people making some bomb shit.
One of Al Capone's favorite sayings, and this is actually, I don't see this very often, and I don't know why, but one of his favorite sayings was fear or respect. You either fear me or you respect me. Either way, you're going to fucking do what I say. And you mentioned Al Capone a couple times. I want to ask you one question. What was in his vault?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
the only
nothing.
fucking guy that's ever
I know.
answered.
It was like a holster. I think there was literally an empty holster.
So what?
Like a 38. Like
Damn, he fucking got it.
I'm a big Al Capone guy. You gotta know.
He got it.
I'm a big Al Capone guy.
The answer is definitely, I'll accept nothing. Because generally, everybody always guesses money. But when you fucking know that the fucking 38 holster was in there, if you can tell me what shelf it was on, I'd be even more surprised.
I want to say it was like,
Holy fuck, he did it.
I remember looking
second
at the
shelf.
Yeah, it was like,
It was right there.
Didn't the dude with the nose that got his nose broke? He did. I was a little kid watching that, and then I read this book about Al Capone. At the same time, I read a book about Ben Franklin. Total life-changing moment. I was out on the road.
Talk about two different fucking people.
Right, and you wouldn't think that those would go, but it blew my mind because the essence of the Al Capone book was that a guy like that doesn't just spring out of fucking nowhere. He was created by society. And Ben Franklin's book was actually written by, the one that I read was written by the former CEO of CNN. And Ben Franklin ran a magazine.
I'm familiar with that book.
It's The American Life. It's
I've
a really
seen that
good
book,
book.
yeah.
And it breaks it down, though, how Ben Franklin, he ran a news publication. He understood the power of the people that are paying for the sponsorships are ultimately going to try and tell him what to print. And he did this experiment when he slept on the floor and, ate gruel. And dude came up. I mean, he retired at 40, and that's why he started flying kites in the fucking rain and shit, because he was so kind of like settled in. But he really realized early on the power of the press, and that there's this like, we could be righteous with it or you could do evil with it. It's like the Jedi thing. Like, it's really existed even back then. And the guys that had control of the information are the dudes that made the people sway one way or another. And
I can actually add to that, and I know why he did things like that. And it's because he was a Freemason, and that's exactly what they fucking teach us.
And that's cool.
Is to do that. Is to be like, nope, you go forward in life at all points in time. Green Day said it best, going straight will get you nowhere. You go forward, going forward.
Yep.
That's where it goes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's just the thing, man. Like, that's exactly the shit that they teach us, is like, this, you find it and you run with it. Mm-hmm. Don't concentrate on your bad shit. Everybody's got faults. If you try to fix your faults, you're fucked. If you concentrate on the good things and move on. If you concentrate on the good things, your faults fall off. Right. You know what I mean? They get fixed and everything like that. And so, yeah, it's just, it's amazing things. Like, I'm glad, awesome.
One of the things I love is, like, in hip hop, they're like, I'm going to give us some dead presidents. I'm like, hey, you fool, you recognize that Ben Franklin was never
not a
elected in any position. Never.
Nope.
And he's on the fucking $100 motherfucking bill, dude. Do the math. It's like, come on, Gene. Like the father's on the $1 bill. What the hell is that? That's
the
guy that ended slavery is on
20.
Yeah, no, he's on a $5 bill.
Oh, the 5. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Who's on the 20?
And a penny. It's like,
A penny. Yeah. Oh, Andrew Jackson's on the 20.
yeah.
My bad.
The rootin' tootin' Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, serious, right? But like, that's, I think our country needs to go back old school a little bit with things.
Back to the basics.
Back to the basics. Like,
sure.
We call ourselves a capital society, which obviously we aren't, because capitalism doesn't win. The best products don't come to light.
Dude.
The best things don't. Yeah, exactly. He put it couldn't put it any better. Thank you, Turpy. But, I just, we need to go back old school with it. And I think that's part of the cannabis industry is old school. We've never been able to come to the forefront. We've never been able to operate on the fucking, let's say legal limits. Right. So we've always kind of had to operate old school because that's cash is king, and we deal with a lot of that and moving around. And so I think that's the biggest thing that we're going to have to change.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Look at the Kennedys. I mean, dude, look at the history books. If you ever want to give yourself an inspiration, if you're in the cannabis industry, look at like how a family like the Kennedys did it.
Bootleggers.
It's literally just like the Corleone vibe, which is like Senator Corleone, governor. It's like, I'm going to do some heavy, gnarly shit just so that you can come up, son, so that we can become part of this shit and no one will fuck with us anymore.
And we'll have a president rise from our industry,
Totally.
I mean, we'll have some, we're going to have those people coming up from our industry. It's going to be amazing. Our kids are going to see it, definitely our kids are going to see it.
From I did not inhale to I grew bunches of plants.
Yeah, for sure.
To I did not inhale to get inaugurated with a
10-gram dabs.
Yeah, I take gram dabs. Hey, do you guys hear Guinness Book of World Records went down? Biggest dab ever taken was done in fucking Hemet.
Yep.
I did not know
Hemet.
in Hemet. At the
Hippie Lounge.
There is.
And what was the size of it? Do you know?
It was like 1,053 grams.
Yeah, they
something
did
like
1,001 the first time, and they had to come back because somebody else did it or something like that. They did like 1,000.
I need video.
Yeah, you wait.
Something like
one
that.
So this is
person
what they
dabbed
did.
1,000
What
grams?
I saw from the first round of it, the very first time, is they had like this hot plate. And they took these dabs and they put it on the hot plates, and it just filled the room full of smoke.
Okay.
So that it was kind of like everybody's in there. They're throwing it on the hot plate. Everybody's getting smoked out.
That counts as the world's biggest dab.
I think so. I don't know, but the world's
Sounds
biggest
like
hot.
a
It was like
world's
it's the
biggest
biggest
waste.
hot
I
spot.
object.
No, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
I
"Man, next time y'all want to do that, let's just split it up first."
I think we need to get hoses to one big ass rig. You know what I mean? And like
A fucking hookah.
big ass hookah,
Big ass
you know
damn
what I mean?
hookah.
Yeah, for sure. I think, but there's got to be a proper way to do that.
I saw a video, so I thought it was somebody was actually inhaling the whole thing, right? Because I like from the
I would
videos,
think that would be a
it was just a
requirement.
fucking it was just a massive cloud, and people are like, oh my god, it's so big. That's not taking a dab,
Right, you gotta ingest that.
I heard
Right, like-
people were actually running out the first time because it was.
Oh no,
just
I'm
so
sure
much,
people are getting
like,
fucked up and everything,
yeah.
but like, okay, that's not taking a single dab.
It's
That's not
not.
the
That's
world's
breathing.
biggest dab. That's the world's biggest dab party.
Right.
Suffocation party.
And what's funny on that note is our studies. Some of our studies that were done on brain damage through marijuana smoke was actually due to the lack of oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen deprivation.
Yeah, oxygen deprivation during the test. It wasn't that the cannabis was killing the brain cells. It was that the way they were performing
Yeah.
the test limited the oxygen to the monkey's brain, and
and-
that was killing the brain cells. So
Oh yeah.
And we talk about the good, the bad, the
remember
ugly
For
here
sure.
here on the Cannabis Council. So I want to say that everybody that was in that room and that whole entire thing, my honest opinion is that was fucking stupid.
That's
we second that.
All right, just
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, like that's just stupid because that's not the.
Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, like
How many patients could have been helped there?
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
fucking grams.
you think 1,000 grams.
That's
What could I
1,000
do with
people.
1,000 grams? I would hook fucking.
that's
I would-
1,000 people.
I would
Right.
hold a clinic and be like, 'cause what I love about dabs is people are like, oh, I ain't doing that. But it's like, dude, if I packed you a bowl or we smoke a bong or something, I have no way of controlling that. I could give you the small, everyone thinks big, but it's like, dude, I could give you a fraction of a dab on a
Micro
nice
dabs.
hot nail.
Right.
And you actually going to get a best tasting little thing you ever got. And okay, wow. And you'll be really feeling it. And it's all about that way of doing it right.
And I remember in the beginning, a lot of, in the beginning, the first High Times Cannabis Cups, the first, big events that we had. I remember everybody just trying to give everybody the fattest dabs that they could give them, but now I
Yeah.
think it's everybody's understanding that, starting out small is the best way to jump into the dab world and enjoy it. It's not about getting that big ass gram
Well, I
dab
think
at
where that
first,
came from too is the terps. Terps became a big thing. And taste became a
Taste,
big
yeah.
thing. And you don't have to have a big hit to get a good taste. And so like that's where I think a lot of people went back into it. Don't get me wrong, I'm a stoner. I fucking smoke to get high. I don't give a fuck. Sometimes I've smoked stress in my life because I'm like, fuck it, I'm stressed out and this shit's
Yeah.
gonna calm me down. It fucking tastes like boo boo. But and you can even ask Extra Terpy, I'm a hot dabber.
Me too.
Hot dabbers.
We were just talking about that.
I'm a hot dabber, right?
Hashtag hot dab.
I don't care. You can give me fucking the bomb and sauce. I'm still gonna hot dab that
Fired
shit,
up.
right? And I'm not. It's not like red hot dab or anything, but it's hot. Okay, so okay, do you want to tell them the story at the coffee shop? I know you're gonna say it anyways.
No, but I'm just gonna say he does take red hot dabs from time to time.
Okay, I was dared, and let me stick up for myself on this one. We were at the Hitman Coffee Shop, and I had just got done like cleaning the banger. You know how like you gotta like give it some fire to really get everything off.
Yeah.
And the whole fucking thing was hot.
Yeah.
And somebody goes, "You won't hit that right now." And so I fucking grabbed it and fucking bam, and I fucking hit it. It tasted like shit. Got me high as fuck.
Right.
It was so hot, guys. He waited another couple of minutes to hit the same fucking banger.
No, about 45 seconds.
No, it was like a minute, honestly. He still waited to hit the same fucking banger. Like, no, I'm gonna let the heat still fucking get out of that one.
Like you didn't even dissipate it out. Like,
No, I think it was still actually red.
Damn.
when I put it on there.
well, I'm for that because again with dabs, you found that you like that. And
Yeah, I like hot
take
dabs.
shit all the time. People are like, "Oh my god!" Like when I was like really hanging at the sessions
That's why I
and
don't
stuff.
let you use my nail.
But I'm old.
buddy's holding
I'm
Rick's
old
now.
man. I'm like, hey, fuck it, yo. I like it like this. It's like taking take it down the same way. Look how old dudes drink. They drink the same fucking thing for
Yep.
like 80 years. It's like,
Danny Boom's a co-host here, and he's got a nice little Hitman with a nice little quartz on it. He will heat it up, and he holds it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah. He's like, no, I'll hand it to you when it's ready. And I'm like, oh, you fucker. He's like, you're a fucking hot dabber.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love them.
Well, back in,
Me
when we
too.
first started dabbing, you had to hit it hot because you didn't,
Yep.
you know what I mean? You had to get it on
No.
there. And we had that little tiny ass nail, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I had the skillet that you swung.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember
Oh,
that
man.
shit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm guilty of taking hot dabs every once in a while. They're not on purpose. Though.
Yeah, for sure.
Like sometimes like I'm sitting there and I'm trying to do my thing and my lady starts yelling and shit. And like I'm not even thinking, I'm just like fuck, you know, like right after I just get done heating, like instead of setting it down, sometimes I'll just like not even thinking, just grab it and fucking red hot.
I gave him a hot dab like a week ago. And the second because I just handed it to him and I put the dab in for him. Yeah, and he was like, and he immediately like fucking looks at me. I see him as he's inhaling. I was like, oh fuck, I'm sorry, this is my temperature, not yours.
No, it's not that it fucks me up. It just kind of pisses me off
Yeah,
because,
that's-
like, you know, when I want to take, like, when I take a fat glob, you know, I want that shit to, like, last and be able to, like, smoke it and take a good, like, 30-second inhale on it. But when it's a hot dab, it's like 5-10 seconds and that shit's gone. I'm like, what?
Right.
This was huge.
but it's a fat 5-10 seconds, and I'm like ninja, in and
fucking
out.
fat
Hi-ya.
rib.
I'm high. Hi-ya.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's always been a business for me since I was a kid. I don't fuck it. I'll say it. It's always been a business for me. Getting high is very rarely for me is actually hanging out with the homies getting high. It's always business. So it was always get high, handle business. Because in the stoner industry, you do not handle business sober.
Right.
You always sit down, you're like, okay, you got your 5 minutes to get high real quick, and then you get to fucking business.
Yep.
But that's how it always was for me, and I'm sure for you. You're a fucking musician, so you're like, get high, get on stage.
Exactly, and that's my ritual, you know. And it was funny because I've been in situations where that shot of Jägermeister is a ritual, and it's like not the same thing. You
No,
don't
not at
go
all.
to the same place. You don't think the same thoughts, and that there's nothing to me better in this world than being able to rock a fat, nice hit of some good cannabis and then taking the stage.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what's up.
That's
What's
and-
up? And on that note, everybody, we got to get the fuck out of here. I think we went a little
Happy
bit over
birthday,
time
Shay.
anyways.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you
Shay.
very
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone that wrote me on fucking Instagram and Facebook and fucking Twitter and all the other fucking things I have on this phone that I do not remember because of social media. But thank you guys very much. I appreciate the love. And, you know, fuck, keep tuning in. Thank you guys for showing up. Jimmy, fuck, thank you so much, bro.
Jimmy.
I'm so glad I got you in here finally. Fucking, like, getting a fucking bull.
Definitely have to come back for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm having you guys back for sure. You're
We got
fucking
some
coming
good
back
shit.
for sure.
Yeah, we got a lot of good shit
Fucking
in the
C-Money's
works.
coming back for sure.
Money. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just wait till we get a little smoke spot going.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Extra Terpy, thank you for fucking making it in. I know you have to
for
make a
sure.
drive all the way over here. But guys, C-Money, thank you. Jimmy, thank you. Everybody, thank you for the birthday
Appreciate you
wishes.
coming out.
That's right. This is the Cannabis Council on Kaotic Radio, brought to you by Uncle Ronnie's Inc. If you have not tried that motherfucking jerky, you are fucking sleeping because it is fucking amazing. Have a good day, everybody. I love you.
Pass the marijuana, give your thanks and praise today. Pass the marijuana, any old kind of way. I like like it in a Buddha bone, about 2 feet long. Don't have to hit it twice and you still feel nice. Pass the marijuana. Pass the marijuana my way. I said, you know my feelings, and now I feel okay. Give me such inspiration to look at things another way. I said, you help me relax at the end of my day, Lord. So